Hi, my name is Sandra, and this is my very first YouTube video, and I'm thinking of starting a YouTube channel, so I'm starting this YouTube video. And this video is going to be about college and competition in college. So I'm currently a junior majoring in biochemistry in college, and something I've noticed, at least in my field, in my university too, that I've noticed that people are really, really competitive in college. Now, of course, I expected the competition because, like we're all trying to graduate, we're all trying to get that degree. So I expected the competition, but competition in college, at least in my field, it's insane. Like, people are competitive to the point that they neglect other people just in order to pass the class. For example, you would have people in relationship that, let's say person A is dating person B. Together they'll study, and then maybe person A would call person B and ask them for help on a question. That person would tell them something like, "Oh, I found the answer, but it's not. I'm not really sure how to explain it. Just read the book." Like, that's usually what they tell you, and the reason why that person is saying that's not because they don't know the answer. It's not because like they're stupid. Really, like, it's just a way of saying, "I don't want to tell you how to do it." That's pretty much it. That people will usually say, "Oh, just read the book. It's in the book. It's in the book." But first, you don't tell me which chapter in the book it is in, which page. No, and they try, when you ask people for help, they try and give you the most vague answer possible. That way, you'll be less likely to figure it out. So really, they're not helping you. They're really just going and saying, just read the book. Even if they find like a website that's helpful, people don't really share that. They keep it to themselves. My roommate had told me about a story that apparently she and a couple of her friends found a Google document about a chapter on the exam, and it explained the topic really well. Then they passed the document around. Then this one kid deleted the document and saved it in his computer, so really the Google document is now gone and nobody else could use it to study. That way, everybody else would fail, and by comparison, that person would get a better grade. Like in my classes, when you ask people how to do a problem, just a simple homework, for example, and homework is like a small percentage of our grade. But even that, people don't want to help you do the homework because they're thinking if you know how to do the homework, then you'll probably get an A in the class, or you'll do better on the exam, and then the curve won't be in my favor. And for those of you who don't know, the grading system, at least in my school, is based on curve. So really what happened is whoever gets the highest grade gets an A. So let's say you get a 66. By comparison to the person who got a 46, you did better. Your 66 becomes the A, and the 46 becomes a B. Really, my thing is, really, you still failed. A 66 out of 100 still means that you didn't understand most of the material. But you feel better about yourself because everybody else did worse. So really, my failure is your success. And that's kind of how it is in college. Everybody else's failure equals someone's success. You're not actually that smart. You only feel smart because everybody else is stupider than you. And really, you couldn't even do the exam yourself. You couldn't get an A on it, like an actual A. You only got the A because of the curve. So as a result, people don't try and collaborate together or help each other out. No, stuff like that. They don't do that. Especially for all the people who want to go to like med school, for example. And my field is full of pre-med, pre-pharm, pre all these things. And I mean, that's okay. That's usually what people study if they want to go to med school or things like that. But they're so competitive. It's like every single assignment is going to determine your future. Everything is going to pretty much determine. Like, there's a single, the slightest, like, that's one quiz is going to determine the rest of your life. And honestly, that doesn't make any sense. Do you really think when you're applying to med school, they're going to go, yeah, that one quiz, remember that quiz you didn't get a perfect score on? no one cares. So you're so competitive that people don't try and actually try and work with other people, network pretty much. They don't do that, which is sad because sometimes it's better to work with other people than it is to work against other people. If you could work with someone, the two of you can collaborate and both get A's. But instead, you're gonna try and compete with that person just so you can get a B plus and they'll get a B, and by comparison, you're smarter. But if you had taken what you know and what that person knows and combined it, the two of you could have known a lot. But sometimes, even when you try and do that, when you try and work in groups, what people do is you come in the group and you share your knowledge. The other people won't share what they know. They'll just go, oh, I don't really know. Can you explain this to me? Can you do this? Can you tell me about this? But they don't tell you anything back. You're just pouring your knowledge out, but you don't get anything out of it. So, like, they're pretty much taking advantage of you. And then when the exam is over, all of a sudden they're like, you didn't know how to do this? You didn't? I mean, I didn't know. You did it, blah, 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 blah. It was in the book. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I asked you, I told you that I didn't know how to do it before the exam. You didn't help me. So, yeah. So that's what people do. Like, the competition is to the point where you can't really have friends because they're really just manipulating each other. You're just using me to get a good grade, and I'm just supposed to also use you. So people aren't really friends. I don't really know how they date each other. This is like, it's like crazy that everybody's just judging the other person based on their grade, not based on who you are or what you do. No, just your grade. And yeah, like, it's kind of like that grade represents who you are. It's like there's so much more about you, but for some reason a grade is just more important. But when you think about it, 20 years down the road, nobody's gonna remember what your grade was. Even you won't. Now, of course, you need like a good GPA or whatever to get, in med school or grad school, whatever. But that doesn't mean you have to just be so competitive that you try and screw everyone over by deleting a document or by just lying to them. Some people will tell you the wrong information actually, just so you won't know how to do it. And then that way the curve will be in their favor. So, yeah, like, it's crazy. It's really, I'm trying not to be part of it, but it's just, like, it's just ridiculous. And what, like, in the end, you end up, you don't get out of college with, like, any friends because you're treating everybody like crap. You're just manipulating everyone. So, I mean, I don't know where this leads you. I personally think it's wrong. I'm not too sure why people do it. I think you can still make it through college without becoming that way. It's still possible for you to help out a person who's stuck on a homework question and still get a good grade in the class. You don't have to rely on other people to fail the class for you to pass it. If you're smart enough, you'll pass it. Like, you'll just pass it. You don't have to make sure that everybody fails. Some people go, oh, I really hope everyone did terrible. That's something you hear in college all the time. You always hear people say, oh, at least everyone did bad. I didn't get a good grade, but at least everyone did bad. Like, it makes you feel better about yourself because you know that everybody else did terrible. So now, all of a sudden, you're a genius because everybody else failed. I don't know. So that's how I feel about competition, and it's really, like, I can't even understand why people do it because I'm really against it because I feel like you can get more out of collaboration, but it's hard to find people to collaborate with. I probably have like 2 friends that I honestly trust to work with them. The rest of them, I just can't. They'll tell me things and I just don't trust it. I'm just like, nah, it's not true. I feel like they're just trying to sabotage me almost. And maybe this is just me, and I'm just talking from what I've experienced now. I just wanted to know if other people, the school are experiencing the same thing. Is it just my school that's crazy competitive, or is it every school? I don't know. But this competition, it's just unbelievable. I've had people in relationship pretty much lie to each other just to make sure that they get a better grade than the other, and they're still together. You won't even help your own girlfriend study for the test because you want to you don't want her to do better than you, and yet you're in a relationship. I don't know. So that's it. Right. Bye. uh,